You know, we have the much anticipated, super intriguing fight between the WBO champion Brian Norman Jr. at welterweight division, defending his belt against Devin Haney. And it's crazy because I just made a video saying that these are the two best guys in the division. Go check it out. And the winner should get respect. But Richardson Hitchins just came out with an interview saying that he doesn't think that Brian Norman's on the same level as him or Devin Haney. And he emphatically picked Devin Haney. And there's some other people saying that Devin Haney could possibly even get a knockout. But I've also heard that Brian Norman did very well in sparring with the GOAT, Terrence Bud Crawford. So somebody lying. But you see the hat I got on. That ain't no coincidence. You know who I'm rocking with. And still.
Hello guys, this is Rolly Romero.
Yo, my name is Nonito Donaire. What's up guys, Designer's Eyes.
We're here with Bob Santos Boxing.
And I rock with Dr. Boxing Talk.
I want to give a quick shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk.
And I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk. Thank you for all the love, thank you for all the support.
You're rocking with Dr. Boxing Talk. Get your daily news from my man right here, the best in the business. Let's get it, baby.
All day, baby.
Amen.
Bam!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you'll say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? Welcome back to your favorite boxing news channel, Dr. Boxing Talk, and we are here for some more boxing news. You know what I'm talking about? BTF rise up, because today we have some updates on what people think about the much anticipated, highly anticipated, intriguing matchup between Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney. And this prediction is coming from another champion at the 140-pound division, one division below welterweight, the IBF champion, Richardson Hitchins. And he said, hey, man, you know, I'm going with Devin Haney. He said it emphatically, and he said it because he shared the ring with Brian Norman in a sparring session. Now, of course, sparring is synonymous with practice, right? You don't always go 100%. You know, you don't always go all out, full throttle. And sometimes you're working on certain things that your opponent may not even know. You know, you should be working on things. And sometimes you do go all out, you know, because of competitive nature, that sometimes that fire is burning and you can't quench it unless somebody puts the pause on you. So there's no telling to which capacity this sparring session went down. But Richardson Hitchins said that he went against Brian Norman Jr. and he said outside of his power, he essentially wasn't impressed.
He's not on my level. Like he was not on my level. He was strong. A whole different level. Like you could tell he's just not on that level.
And I'm not mad at that, man. If that's how you felt and that's what you experienced, that's what it is. But somebody close to Brian Norman's camp who was actually present to witness this sparring session, he said, hold on, bro. That's not what I saw. Yeah, so we have conflicted statements based on this one instance just alone. You see what I'm saying? But I will also say this. When Richardson Hitchins says that Brian Norman's not on his level, and he also doesn't think he's on that Brian Norman will be on Devin Haney's level. That's what Devin Haney has been saying as well. So it could be true. And I always told people this, right? That I think this fight is a 50-50 matchup on paper. You know, some people thinking that Devin Haney may even knock out Brian Norman. For your listening pleasure, we are now on Spotify under Dr. Boxing Talk. The same thing on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, everything. Dr. Boxing Talk, man. Come rock with us. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. But I mean, we'll see how it goes, right? I'm going with Brian Norman. I think Brian Norman has the tools to win, you know, and the skills to pay the bills. But I do think Devin Haney is more skillful, right? I think Devin Haney has a better jab. I think Devin Haney has has much more experience at the highest level, you know. I think Devin Haney has a better lateral movement, has an overall better boxing acumen and fundamentals, right? But I think people are, in my personal opinion, underestimating Brian Norman and just reducing him to a power puncher. Yeah, he's powerful. Yeah, he's strong. And yes, he's athletic. You know, I would say that Devin Haney is more athletic with his movement inside the ring. But Brian Norman's also athletic himself. And not to mention, a lot of times with his power, the way that he delivers it, it takes some IQ because he's timing him, right? A lot of times he's setting people up. So I do think that's underestimated how well he sets people up and how well he's been showing as of late to anticipate his opponent's moves and able to counter them. Not to mention that he also had an infamous sparring session with one of the GOATs, Terrence Bud Crawford, right? And he said that it was highly competitive. And some people also corroborated with that story and said, yeah, man, it was a highly competitive matchup. But once again, I don't know if Terrence Crawford was going all out. I don't know if Brian Norman was going all out. Maybe they both were simultaneously. Maybe one was and one wasn't. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. So I take these sparring stories with a grain of salt. But I will say this though, if you kept up with Terrence Crawford, but then somebody else like Richardson Hitchins say that you're not on his level and it was clear, then somebody lying.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
You see what I'm saying? Somebody's lying for sure. But you know what the great thing is? We're going to find out who's lying on November 22nd, good Lord willing, which is a couple of weeks. I'm going with Brian Norman, but once again, both these gentlemen, both these Americans should be respected and let the best man win, whether it's Devin Haney or Brian Norman Jr. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Don't forget to smack that like button, but most importantly, remember with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold, we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.